What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to break down my all-time favorite drum fill, and since it's my favorite, that also means it's objectively the best. For longtime viewers of this channel, you may recognize this fill. It was actually the subject of my very first instructional video on this channel way back in 2014. I recorded that in a Berkeley practice room. The overall production of it was pretty bad, but you gotta be bad at something before you get kinda good at it. So I thought it would be a good idea to revisit that fill and give it a bit of a reboot. This is something I first saw Thomas Pridgeon do in one of those old Gospel Chops videos. He's just playing on a pretty beat down kit. All the cymbals have huge chunks taken out of them and everything, and he was just going in. And he whipped out this nasty lick in the middle of it, and I'd never heard anything like that before, and I made it my mission to figure out what was going on there, so I spent so much time just rewinding that little clip, just trying to watch what his hands were doing, and through a tedious process of trial and error, I was able to pretty much figure out what was going on, and it was based around a pattern that I later learned was called a blushda, or a flam drag. This pattern consists of a flam immediately followed by a drag, thus the not-so-subtle name flam drag, but I like to think of these more as flam accents, where the middle stroke of the pattern is doubled. My default sticking for these is left flam, right, right, left. And remember, with a left flam, the right hand actually plays the grace note. Thinking of these blushdas or flam drags or whatever you want to call them as they relate to flam accents, I like to use left-handed flam accents, which consists of a left flam, right, left. And flam accents typically alternate sticking, but we're just going to keep repeating the left-handed version. So we'll just continuously wrap around left flam, right, left, left flam, right, left, left flam, right, left, left flam, right, left. And then to turn this pattern into a blushda or a flam drag, we're just going to double the right hand stroke in the middle part of the pattern. So that will become left flam, right, right, left, left flam, right, right, left, left flam, right, right, left, left flam, right, right, left. So it boils down to a 3-beat pattern, but when I first saw Thomas Pridgeon do this, he was playing it in more of a 16th note setting. So instead of having a triplet feel, the pattern had more of a dotted 8th note feel to it. With the 16th note application, the pattern will not evenly fill an entire measure. We're going to have one remaining 16th note space. And what Thomas Pridgeon did, he just added another flam in the middle of the measure. So the phrase that Thomas Pridgeon played was 2 blushdas, followed by the extra flam, followed by 3 more blushdas, and then that evenly fills a measure of 16th notes. And I remember seeing somewhere in the comments of that video or in an interview or something somewhere that this lick was originally used by Tony Williams and Vinnie Colaiuta, so it goes back a ways. And this lick was actually an important gateway to me exploring these other old school fusion drummers that laid the foundation for chumps like me. To help get a grasp on this dotted 8th feel, I think it would be a good idea to start with a flam accent version of this phrase. So that would roughly work out to flam accent, flam accent, flam flam accent, flam accent, flam accent, On just the snare and floor tom, that's going to sound like this. Then you just need to double up the right hand in the middle of each flam accent, and blammo, you got the phrase. If I beatbox this phrase, 2 blushdas, flam, 3 blushdas, it should sound like blah tikita, blah tikita, blah blah tikita, blah tikita, blah tikita, blah. The way I saw Thomas Pridgeon first orchestrate this, he had the grace notes of each flam on the kick and ride cymbal, or kick and crash, whatever he was using, and then everything else was on the snare drum. When I orchestrate this phrase around the drums, 99% of the time I only move the right-hand grace notes around. I really like the sound of those accented left-hand strokes on the snare drum. It just helps this thing pop. And keeping the left hand on the snare drum really highlights the rhythm of the left hand. It has almost a shuffle feel going with it. I'm going to play around with a few different orchestrations of this phrase. Whatever I end up playing will be transcribed and available on my Patreon page, so check out the link in the description. But here we go. Beyond that, you can reposition the extra flam in the phrase. So everything I did so far was just 2 blushdas, flam, 3 more blushdas. What if we did 3 blushdas, flam, 2 blushdas? Or 1 blushda, flam, 4 blushdas? Or 4 blushdas, flam, 1 blushda? Or flam, 5 blushdas? Or 5 blushdas, flam? There are a lot of different permutations you could work out. As long as you got 5 blushdas and 1 flam, it really doesn't matter the order in which they occur. And you could even just string different permutations of this phrase back to back to back to back to back to just get this ridiculous blushda flow that no one really needs, but it's fun, so that counts for something. If you like what you saw in this video, check out my Patreon page. Your support grants you access to transcriptions for this video, as well as transcriptions for all my other lesson videos. And follow me on Instagram @DrumMerhar to see more videos of my playing. As always, thanks for watching and see you next time.